It was a crisp autumn afternoon in Portland, Oregon, when Emily and Jack decided to take their dog, Max, for a stroll. The leaves crunched beneath their feet as they wandered through the familiar neighborhoods, enjoying the vibrant colors of fall. The golden and crimson leaves drifted down from the trees, creating a picturesque scene that made Emily smile. "Let's try a different route today," Jack suggested, glancing down at Max, who was tugging eagerly at his leash. Emily nodded in agreement, feeling adventurous. They turned onto a side street they had never explored before, and as they walked, the sounds of the city began to fade away, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of birds. After a few blocks, they rounded a corner and stumbled upon an enormous set of iron gates. The gates were intricately designed, with vines and flowers curling up the metal. They stood tall and imposing, yet inviting, as if beckoning them to enter. Emily looked at Jack, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. "Should we check it out?" she asked, feeling a thrill of excitement. "Why not? It could be a hidden gem," Jack replied, smiling. They pushed open the gates, which creaked eerily as they swung inward. Beyond the gates lay a sprawling park that seemed to have been plucked from another time. The grass was perfectly cut, the trees stood proudly, and old stone statues dotted the landscape, each one more majestic than the last. There was an uncanny stillness in the air, a serene quality that made it feel like they were in a dream. As they wandered through the park, Max sniffed curiously at the statues, which depicted figures in various poses, some seated, others standing tall. Emily took out her phone, eager to capture the beauty around them. She snapped pictures of Jack and Max posing in front of the statues, laughing as they explored. "This place is incredible," Jack said, looking around in awe. "I've never seen anything like it. How have we never heard of this park before?" "I don't know, but I love it," Emily exclaimed, her eyes bright with excitement. They spent over an hour wandering the grounds, marveling at the artistry of the statues, which appeared ancient yet well preserved. There were no plaques to identify them or signs indicating the park's name. It was as if they had stumbled upon a secret world hidden from everyone else. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the park, Emily and Jack reluctantly decided it was time to head home. They retraced their steps back to the iron gates, feeling a sense of wonder about their unexpected find. Once outside, Jack stopped to take one last photo of the entrance, capturing the gates framed by the vibrant colors of the setting sun. When they returned home, they excitedly reviewed the photos they had taken. However, as they scrolled through the images, they noticed something strange. In every photo featuring the statues, the figures appeared to be looking directly at the camera, their expressions strangely animated, despite having been still when they took the pictures. "Did you see that?" Emily said, her brow furrowed in confusion. "They weren't looking at us when we were there." "Maybe it's just the angle," Jack replied, trying to dismiss her concern. "Or the lighting playing tricks on us." But Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The park had felt like a hidden realm, untouched by time, and now the statues seemed to possess a life of their own in the photographs. They decided to dismiss it for the night, but Emily couldn't help but feel a nagging sense of unease. The next day, eager to share their discovery with friends, they decided to return to the park. They grabbed Max and set off, excited to show everyone their secret spot. However, as they drove through the familiar streets, they began to feel a sense of dread creeping in. The closer they got, the more they realized something was wrong. When they arrived at the location where the park had been, all that greeted them was an abandoned parking lot. The iron gates were gone, replaced with a chain-link fence that stood stark against the concrete. A small sign hung on the fence, the words scrawled in faded paint, "Thank you for visiting." "You were never here." Jack and Emily exchanged bewildered glances, disbelief washing over them. "This can't be right," Jack said, shaking his head. "It was right here." Emily's heart raced as she stepped closer to the fence, peering through the gaps. "We were just here yesterday," she murmured. "I swear it was real." "Maybe we just remembered it wrong," Jack suggested, though his voice lacked conviction. Frustrated and confused, they decided to investigate further. They spent the next hour searching the surrounding area, hoping to find a clue about what had happened to the park. They asked locals if they knew anything about the mysterious park, but no one had ever heard of it. As they wandered through the neighborhood, they stumbled upon an old bookstore that exuded charm. The owner, A kindly elderly woman with wispy gray hair greeted them with a warm smile. Emily hesitated before asking, "Excuse me, have you ever heard of a park with massive iron gates and statues?" The woman's expression shifted, her eyes narrowing in thought. "There are stories, local legends about a park that appears and disappears," she said slowly. "Some say it's a place where time doesn't flow like it does in our world. But I wouldn't put too much stock in those tales. Do you know where it is?" Jack pressed, eager for any information. "I've heard it's near the old cemetery, but it's not on any map." "Many have searched for it, but few find it," the woman replied, her voice tinged with mystery. Feeling a renewed sense of purpose, Emily and Jack thanked the woman and rushed back to their car, determined to find the cemetery. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows as they drove toward the edge of town, excitement mixed with a hint of fear coursing through them. When they arrived at the cemetery, Emily and Jack stepped out of the car, Max trotting eagerly beside them. The air felt heavy with anticipation as they walked through the rows of gravestones, searching for any sign of the elusive park. "Do you really think we'll find it?" Emily asked, her heart racing with hope. "We have to try," Jack replied, scanning the area. "If the stories are true, maybe we can find a way in." After wandering for what felt like an eternity, they finally stumbled upon a weathered path leading deeper into the trees. It twisted and turned, overgrown with weeds and brush, but it felt alive, almost as if it were beckoning them forward. "Should we?" Emily asked, glancing back at Jack. "Absolutely," he replied, determination etched on his face. They followed the path, and as they walked, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew cooler, and an unsettling silence enveloped them. With each step, they felt a sense of disorientation, as if they were stepping through a veil between reality and something else entirely. Suddenly, they broke through the trees, and there it was, the park. The massive iron gates stood before them, just as they had remembered. The statues loomed on either side, their expressions frozen in time. But this time, the park felt different. The colors were more vivid, the air tinged with an almost electric energy. "Is this really happening?" Emily whispered, disbelief flooding her senses. Before they could fully process their surroundings, they heard a voice behind them. "You shouldn't have come back." They turned to see the elderly woman from the bookstore standing at the edge of the path, her expression one of concern. "The park is not what it seems," she warned, her voice low. "It holds secrets best left undisturbed. You were given a glimpse, but you must leave before it's too late." "But we don't understand," Jack exclaimed. "We just want to know why it was gone." The woman shook her head. "Some places are meant to remain hidden. The park shows itself to those who are seeking something, answers, memories, escape. But it can also take what it wants." As she spoke, the statues seemed to shift slightly, their gazes locking onto Jamie and Jack. They felt the weight of their stares, a chill creeping down their spines. Realizing the danger, Emily grabbed Jack's hand. "We need to go now," she said, fear threading through her voice. As they turned to leave, the air around them shimmered, and the path began to twist again, the way back becoming obscured. The statues appeared to shift subtly, their expressions now filled with something resembling hunger. With a surge of adrenaline, they ran back through the trees, the world around them blurring. They could hear whispers, echoing in the distance, urging them to stop, to look back, but they pushed forward, desperate to escape. Finally, they broke free from the trees, bursting back into the cemetery. They collapsed against the car, gasping for breath, hearts racing. The park had vanished behind them, leaving only the whispering trees and gravestones. "What just happened?" Jack panted, his eyes wide with fear. "I don't know," Emily replied, still trying to catch her breath. "But whatever that park is, it wants to keep its secrets." As they drove away, Emily glanced back at the cemetery, the towering trees casting long shadows in the fading light. The park might have vanished from their lives, but its memory would haunt them forever. They had glimpsed a world beyond their understanding, a place that existed on the fringes of reality, and now they knew that some mysteries were best left unsolved.